Imagine touching a wall and instantly being stripped. Casually walking on the Great Wall of China while you're on holiday with your loved one. Oh look honey, what's that? The walls of Babylon? The walls of Troy? The walls of Jericho? That's what Qorvex's new augment, Wrecking Wall, does. Kind of, right? Maybe not to that degree, but slam enemies in between two big containment concrete walls and you will strip 100% of their defenses. In reality, this should be just mashed to a pulp, but it will remove armor and shields. This needs 200% power strength on your Qorvex to fully strip. But hitting 5 enemies or more with this wall will also refresh the duration of his Chirinka pillars and empower them, and they will then stay empowered for the duration of those pillars, which you can then just reset by hitting them again or hitting more enemies again with the wall. Now, empowered pillars pulse faster, meaning more damage output. Combine this with his Crucible Blast, which is his ultimate ability, and it can prolong and spread the chain explosions with each pulse, meaning he deals more damage in a quicker time frame. And the good thing about his containment wall is that it also groups enemies up in a perfect line, which then benefits from Qorvex's passive of +3 punch through. This means enemies lined up can then be burned down super fast because of that punch through. Add in your weapon of choice and you can just sit back with a smile on your face. So this means that you can line them up, you can strip them, and then you can radiate the sweet Jesus out of them, watch them explode in front of your very eyes with his Crucible Blast, because Crucible Blast also just goes straight through those enemies in a line. It also hits enemies with a guaranteed radiation proc and causes enemies affected by radiation to explode in this beautiful chain reaction. It all sounds perfect, right? And I know a lot of players felt when Qorvex was released that he was missing something. He felt like just an okay frame. I know there's going to be people who hate him, but the people who enjoyed him thought he felt like he was missing something. He was big, he was tanky, he could crowd control, he could do a lot of damage, but something was just missing. And that something was definitely a defense strip, because a lot of players would subsume defense stripping abilities onto their Qorvex. Well, now he has it with this augment without needing to subsume an ability onto him, and it is very, very good. I do still have issues with his wall and how it works or how it moves across the game's landscapes, and on uneven terrain it can miss a lot of enemies by slamming over their heads or just not catching them, which you're seeing right now on screen. Enemies were just a little bit too low, so they couldn't have their armor stripped and they weren't hit by that wall. Now, of course, when the wall hits enemies, it also gives them guaranteed radiation procs, but Qorvex with this augment is much better than he is without it. He can crowd control with radiation, causing enemies to fight one another. Like I said, he can now strip the defenses. He's got a lot of health, he's got even more armor, so he is very hard to kill. His pillars are used for great choke points. His Disometric Guard, which is his third ability, will stop him and teammates from taking any status procs, but also give them knockdown immunity, meaning no need for Prime Sure-Footed or Sure-Footed, and his Crucible Blast does really nice damage. But on top of this, with the Jade Shadows update, it also brought us a new arcane that is just begging to be used on Warframes like Qorvex. Big, tanky, armoured feckers. Arcane Battery will give you energy based on the armor values on your Warframe of choice, up to an extra 1000 energy. At times I've had 1200 energy on my Qorvex in missions as a result of this arcane, and of course other mods, but also Arcane Guardian, which allows for a bit more freedom in his builds, and it kind of works wonders with a high energy cost build if you wanted to go negative efficiency. Now, this is the build I was using for the purpose of this footage, to check out Qorvex and of course check out the arcane. But my build is a triple Umbra build, since I already had 2 Umbral Forma on him from when he was released, because I love tanky frames, and when he was released I was thinking, oh my god, this is going to be the perfect frame for me, but he just never fell into that kind of category. In fact, I'm overly cautious when it comes to survivability on a lot of frames, and I tend to mod for things that maybe I don't need, because I'm thinking, oh, but then that'll give me more health or more armor, and I kind of get tunnel vision and fail to see that maybe a different mod might be a better choice. So the mods are Stand United for the aura slot for more armor. I've got 3 Umbral mods, which means more armor, more health, more power strength. Equilibrium will allow me to pick up health and energy orbs depending on which one I need. Stretch for more range along with Cunning Drift. Blind Rage for more strength, and Adaptation for damage reduction. Even though his third ability can stop me taking status procs at times, I was still taking big chunky damage when I didn't have adaptation equipped. You can pop in more range if you prefer, but with this build I have 2600 armor, meaning my energy is just shy of 1000, but with Arcane Guardian this jumps up to 1200. But when the Guardian buff leaves, that drops right back down to 1000. So Guardian isn't exactly a good choice. Maybe Energize if you're having issues with energy. Steadfast, Blessing, Avenger, any of these other arcanes would be a better option than Arcane Guardian, even though Arcane Guardian gives you nice chunky amounts of additional armor. With the sheer amount of energy he will have with this arcane, you are free to have a low efficiency or a negative efficiency because you have nearly 1000 energy, and Equilibrium, like I said, and a companion causing health orbs to drop will give you more than enough energy to sustain your Qorvex build and keep you topped off so that you can keep spamming that wall and slamming enemies and stripping their defenses, while also throwing in his Crucible Blast to blow them up. And duration isn't really an issue for Qorvex, since now with Wrecking Wall you're going to be resetting the duration of those Chirinka pillars constantly, meaning you are free to keep his duration at default if you want to, or maybe if you are going to maybe subsume one of his abilities out, you might have to factor in duration in your build, because with this type of build it just doesn't need it. Now it is also worth noting that I have got 5 normal Archon shards on him, on my Qorvex orange ones, which are giving me 50% bonus ability damage to enemies affected by radiation. I've had these on since he was released because I thought, oh, I'm going to put loads of radiation Archon shards on him, and then I never took them off, I forgot about it. But casting speed or more armor or energy effectiveness could also be shards worth replacing some of these with if you want to. Archon shards, of course, are completely optional, you don't need them, and you can use whichever effect ones you want, right? Just like the build, it's your Warframe, your game, go fucking nuts. So to summarize, his Wrecking Wall augment isn't exactly going to transform his playstyle, but it definitely boosts Qorvex and puts him in a much better place than he was before the Jade Shadows update, giving him more damage output due to constant empowered pillars and more effective explosions from his Crucible Blast, but also the really nice addition of having that bonus full defense strip by slamming his walls together. Now, if you want to get your hands on this Wrecking Wall augment, you can get it from Steel Meridian or Cephalon Suda if you're at the right rank with those syndicates and if you have enough standing to actually buy it. But let me know in the comment section below what you think of the Wrecking Wall augment if or when you get your hands on it. What do you think of Qorvex now with this addition to his kit? Have a great day, have a great week, and as always, thanks for watching.